After 5 years of holding the American Express Platinum Card and just receiving my replacement, I want to give my full review of the card and its benefits to answer the question, is the annual fee worth the cost? Hey everyone, I'm Bradford with the Penny Pinter's Guide to Personal Finance. The American Express Platinum Card is probably the most well-known premium travel card. While Amex touts an impressive $1,400 worth of benefits, it also comes with a hefty $695 annual fee. Let's break down what those benefits are and what sort of value they provide. First and foremost, the Platinum Card is a travel card, which means you're not going to be wanting to use it as your everyday credit card because you're only going to get one membership reward point back for every dollar spent. And while you're still going to be getting a 1 to 2 cent valuation per point, where the card really shines is where you use it to book travel. You're going to be getting 5 times points back on flights and prepaid hotels booked through the Amex travel portal, as well as 5 times points on flights purchased directly from airlines. So this means with that average cent per point valuation, you're going to be getting from the get-go 5 to 10% cashback equivalent on any flights or hotels that you book with your Platinum Card, and that's prior to doing any sort of point transfers to partner programs to further enhance what you're getting per point. But it is worth noting that these are the only 2 categories that you're going to get some sort of point multiplier for compared to other Amex travel cards like the Gold Card, which while it's still going to give you 4 times points back on flights and prepaid hotels, it's also going to give you multipliers on dining and gas. Now, the next benefit that I want to talk about is going to be dealing with the American Express Global Lounge Collection, which is going to give you access to any lounges that are supported by the Priority Pass network, as well as the Centurion lounges that are growing at an expanding list of airports. Now, it's hard to put an exact valuation on this because it's going to be dependent on how often you're traveling and how often you actually build time in to spend time at lounges when you are traveling through different airports. And I think for with myself, last year, I wasn't able to travel that much, but with a varying valuation of probably $50 is a good valuation on a visit to a Centurion lounge, and anywhere between $30 and $75 on other lounges, depending on which ones you visit. I think it's worth giving at least $200 of valuation, and with really the sky is the limit. If you travel a lot, you could easily get thousands of dollars worth of valuation if you have multiple stops, because it's really going to give you a lot of benefit when you are traveling a lot and you have longer layovers, because you're going to get premium food, you're going to be getting premium drinks, things that you would have to pay for anyway if you were at the airport. And after the lounges, I want to talk about the $300 Equinox Credit and SoulCycle Credit for the at-home bike. Now for me, I think this is probably the most useless credit. I'm not getting any valuation for it because it's really only useful if you live somewhere that Equinox already is. While they do have an online subscription that you can use, I really feel like that's not worth the value. And then the second part of this credit is the $300 that can go towards purchasing a SoulCycle bike. Well, yes, it is technically an annual credit. In reality, no one's going to be buying a new SoulCycle bike every single year. It's going to be a one and done purchase, and then they're going to use that SoulCycle bike for multiple years to come. So really, I think this is one of the weaker credits that they have, and it's really only useful if you live in a city where Equinox already is. After that is going to be the digital entertainment credit. Now, I think I do get a pretty good valuation for it, although I don't get the full $240. I was able to cancel my Sling subscription and then sign up for Peacock instead. But Audible, Sirius, as well as the New York Times, those aren't services that I was going to use in the first place, so I'm only using a part of the credit for the Peacock subscription. Well, yes, I think it is pretty easy to use the full $240. It's also going to be dependent. There are only 4 subscriptions that you can sign up for. So if those are 4 or one of the 4 is something that you would actually use, that's great. That will be of value to you. But if these 4 things aren't something that you would subscribe to anyway, I would say that it's not worth assigning the full value of this credit. Following that is going to be the $200 hotel credit. This is probably going to be one of my favorite credits that's going to be offered because it's really easy to use. With only 1 stay at the fine hotels and resorts or 2-night consecutive stay at the hotel collection, you're going to get this $200 hotel credit automatically credited back to you on your statement. It's really easy to use. There's nothing you have to sign up for. And since this is a travel card, it gives you a wide selection of hotels to choose from. Wherever you're going, it's very easy, especially if it's just a weekend stay, to have this credit, get the full valuation applied towards your statement. After this, it's going to be a $200 airline fee credit. This was initially one of my more favorite credits because I could book something in economy and then I could use this credit because it covers incidental fees such as check bags and in-flight refreshments. I would book economy and then I would be able to buy whatever my meal was while I'm traveling in the air. But since the start of COVID and airlines haven't been serving food, especially in economy or even giving you the option to buy food, I've really only been able to use this to change my seat selection within the same class. You can't use it to go from economy to business, but you can, say if you have a basic economy ticket, use it to pay to sit in an exit row instead. So really that's only been the instances where I've been able to get value for it really since the start of COVID. Continuing on, it's gonna be the Walmart Plus monthly membership credit. I really don't think this one really gives much of a value for it. I did sign up for the Walmart Plus subscription just to see what I would get from it, but I really don't like the free shipping. I have Amazon Prime instead. Same day delivery of groceries is at best. The biggest thing that I get for it is gonna be the 5 cents off at Murphy gas stations when I am traveling. So 5 cents back when I'm filling up on gas, but otherwise I would never get the Walmart credit on my own. So I really don't see much of a value from this specific benefit itself. $200 Uber cash. Now, I don't live someplace where Ubering around really makes a lot of sense, but it does give you the flexibility to use it towards either Uber or Uber Eats. So I basically view it as a free meal one time a month, but I think you're gonna get the most value from it if you live in a city where Ubering around to different destinations is gonna be a more economical option, as opposed to me, if I wanted to Uber to work, I'm probably gonna be spending $100 one way just because of how far I have to travel. But I can order from one of my local restaurants that I like to eat at and get one free meal a month. So I do definitely get the full valuation of this credit. After that is gonna be the Clear credit as well as the TSA PreCheck credit. I put these in the same category because they deal with helping you get through airport security faster. Now, if you don't have either of these, I think it's definitely worth signing up with the credit card. And since this is a travel card, I think it gives you a good value of something that you can actually use while you're traveling. I already have TSA PreCheck through work, so this doesn't give me any sort of additional benefit. Continuing on is gonna be the Shop Saks with Platinum. It's gonna give you $50 per every 6 months throughout the year. Now, I'm not somebody that would ever shop at Saks Fifth on my own, but since I do have this credit, I found it valuable to buy like a pair of socks every 6 months or buy some sort of like vanity kit to get a shaving kit for myself. So I don't give it the full $100 valuation because it's not something I'd ever be spending money on my own. But since I have it, I definitely use the credit. And then when it comes to hotels, I think the Platinum Card gives you a lot of really good options. You have the Fine Hotels and Resorts program, which is going to give you things like guaranteed early check-in and late checkout. It's going to give you daily breakfast for 2. And then it's also going to give you some sort of amenity credit during your stay. Probably the most common one to see is going to be a $100 credit, which you can use towards like valet parking, or if you want to get drinks or get dinner at a restaurant hotel, I think that can give you some good valuation. Just keep in mind that these extra benefits are tied into the value of your stay. So it's going to be more expensive usually to book on the Amex travel portal with the Fine Hotels and Resorts program, as opposed to booking directly with the hotel. Now, the other 2 benefits here are giving the Hilton Honors Gold status as well as the Marriott Bonvoy Gold Elite status. Now, if you don't have any of the other credit cards that would give you automatic upgrades, I think this is a really good way to get you a higher tier status on those different hotel chains, as well as between Hilton and Marriott, you're basically going to be able to find a place to stay almost regardless of where you go, and the different benefits that you get staying at the respective hotels. Like Hilton, for example, with the gold status, you're going to get free breakfast at basically all their hotels. I think that's worth at least probably $15 to $30 a day per person when you're looking at a stay. So automatically getting upgraded to these higher tier statuses is definitely something to tie into when you're looking at the card. Now, I don't know off the top of my head a good way to value these. If you go and look at the points guy, for example, they do give actual dollar amounts on what a gold status is at Hilton or Marriott Bonvoy, but it's going to be varied person to person. How much do you travel? Are you more of a Hilton person? Are you more of a Marriott person? And depending on where you travel with what hotel options are available, that's really going to cater how much these individual credits are worth to you. The last one I want to talk about is going to be cell phone protection. I think this one's pretty good. Basically, for a $50 deductible to repair or replace your phone, whether it's stolen or damaged or lost, you submit this insurance claim with the New Hampshire Insurance Company, and you can get up to $800 back 2 times a year. Now, I didn't have any sort of insurance on my phone beforehand, but if you do have some sort of insurance through your cell phone provider, you can drop that. As long as you're paying for your cell phone bill with your Platinum Card, this insurance is going to automatically apply. And hey, while I didn't have one to begin with, if I do lose my phone or someone steals it, I know I can drop $50 in a deductible and get an almost new phone, which is a really good thing to have. Now, while there are some other miscellaneous benefits that do accompany the Platinum Card, those are the primary ones, and particularly the ones that actually have a dollar amount associated with them. Now, I think it's going to be pretty rare for somebody to be able to take advantage of each and every one of those benefits and get the full value. But you can see that while the card does come with a really hefty annual fee, it's giving you tons of credits that you can use to be able to pay for that benefit, if not at least once, but hopefully many times over. Now, when it comes to me personally, while I'm still a long way from completely optimizing the Platinum Card, as well as my overall credit card strategy, the Platinum Card for me is definitely worth it. It pays for itself at least a couple times over, probably and most primarily when I travel, being able to utilize the different lounges that I get access to because of the card, knowing that when I travel, I'm going to be eating something anyway. I'm going to be getting some sort of drink. So even if I wasn't going to go stay in the lounge to begin with, I was probably going to be spending probably between $20 and $30 between my wife and I just to get something to eat while we're traveling. And so at the very minimum, every time I go through an airport, the Centurion lounge or staying at one of the priority pass places is getting to give me regular food that I would otherwise be paying for at some sort of food court. In addition to that, like the Uber Eats credit, I get tons of value out of that. I maximize it every single year. The Saks Fifth Avenue, getting a free pair of socks every 6 months. I think that's something useful. The Airline Credit, well, I don't think it's as valuable as it used to be. Hopefully, as we move past COVID and more airlines start to reintroduce food on them, you're going to start to see more and more value out of that, as well as that $200 hotel credit. Being able to take just a nice date weekend, or if you're doing some sort of regular travel, just getting that extra $200 back in your pocket is an easy way to get the full valuation of that annual fee. And that's just with a handful of the credits. Now, if you're not a big traveler, that Platinum Card, it's probably not going to be worth it. And you're probably going to be better off getting a lower tier travel card that either has no annual fee or a lower annual fee while still getting you some good benefits out of it. Now, for myself and my wife, I plan on keeping the Platinum Card now and for many years to come, especially as we have the opportunity to travel more and more. The card is going to only become more and more valuable, especially as we start to rack up more membership rewards points and we start to take some sort of aspirational trips. Like we have a trip to Scotland this year that we're going to be taking, and then next year plan on doing like a family trip to Hawaii. Hopefully you can be able to book all of my airfare in first class by transferring membership rewards around to various partners to get the best benefit and hopefully book the whole thing in points. So 5 years later, I gotta say the AMEX Platinum Card is definitely worth the annual fee. I'll plan on keeping it and hopefully getting out some videos showing how I'm able to optimize the membership rewards as well as some of the other benefits to help you get the most bang for your buck. Now, even if you have decided the Platinum Card is a good fit for you and it's going to be a great travel card, you're still going to want to have an everyday catch-all credit card that you're able to use when you're not optimizing a specific purchase. And for that, I'd highly recommend checking out our best cashback credit cards of 2022. I want to thank you for joining me today, and until next time, just remember to pinch a little.